Hey guys, so we are back with Payoneer guys. This is Valeria again, and Eagle, of course, everyone knows Eagle, and this is Mo. And today, what we are about to do is we are about to introduce Payoneer company, and we're gonna interview Mo and Valeria. We're gonna ask a few questions regarding what Payoneer does and everything, and then this is a live Q&A. That means that you guys can ask questions, you can get straight answers. So feel free to ask any questions. If there will be any complicated questions, then we will be elaborating more about them after the session ends. So anyway, thanks for having us.
Thank you for coming, everyone, and hi.
Hi.
And I hope that everyone can hear us well. Let us know if there is any difficulties with the sound or anything like it. So Eagle, do you want to start with the interview?
Sure. So first of all, thanks again, as Mar said. Could you please introduce yourselves and your roles in Payoneer?
So hi, my name is Mor. I'm the partnerships manager, basically responsible for developing new partnerships in collaboration with different companies and solutions for our clients. And one of them, hopefully, we'll start to see high activity with Triple Mars as well.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna say just before Valeria introduced herself, we are working on a very good collaboration together with Payoneer. So I actually met Payoneer founder, I think it was about 8 to 10 years ago, I'm not sure, but Payoneer was a small company back then. It was with only 7 guys working for Payoneer. Anyway, I'm very happy to see how the company grow and the good things that you guys do in the fintech world. And we're working on a very nice collaboration together with Triple Months. This is also something that we are currently building together as a partnership. And more or less, I'm gonna explain about this probably later in a different session. But go ahead, Valeria, introduce yourself.
Thank you, Mara. So as Mara said, my name is Valeria, and I work with the strategic clients we have in Israel and a few more countries in basically try to develop the business in the local markets here.
Great. Awesome. So what is Payoneer for anyone that doesn't know, and what does it offer to e-commerce businesses?
So Payoneer is a payment platform, a global payment platform. Basically, today, just so you know, everyone, and get the perspective of the scale of Payoneer in those days, Payoneer today is actually the leading payment solution for B2B transaction in the e-commerce world. Okay, so Payoneer, just to correct me if I'm wrong here, Valeria, I think last year, Payoneer managed around $130 billion in transactions yearly. Okay, so we're talking about very a fast-growing and very professional company in the e-commerce world, and yeah, that's what we do. We help you guys to get everywhere in the world to get funds to your local bank, as it was local.
Yeah, when I've met the founder of Payoneer at the first place, it was because I wanted to work with a GBP currency, and the solution was very simple. At least in those days, I think the simplicity of the solution is still what makes Payoneer so great. So at the beginning, Payoneer was offering, let's say that you have an employee, VA or something like that, or if you want to make a bank transfer to someone overseas, now you can go to your bank and you can just pay the fees, which is of course very high because they are using SWIFT or all kinds of transfer funds method. But when using Payoneer, you can just deposit the money in your own local currency, and the guy that needs to receive the payments can receive it in his local currency, which I think this is the simplicity where Payoneer just go from, and I think this is what makes this company so great. So I think that keep on.
To add to what Mor said, that we work with the biggest e-commerce companies like Amazon, Walmart, and so on. So all the people who sell on those marketplaces use us to receive their funds eventually.
So how does it really work then? So let's say I'm an eBay business owner or someone who gets their payments from PayPal, or I'm an Amazon store owner or trying to open an Amazon seller account. So how does this all work? How do we connect to Payoneer and use it to our advantage?
So actually, it's very, I mean, it sounds very simple. It's not that simple, but to make it as simple as I can, basically what we do is to give you a virtual bank account. Okay, simple as that. If you are a seller based, I don't know, from here in Israel, and you want to open a seller account in Amazon, Amazon is, I'm not sure if everyone knows, for example, and many platforms as well, they limit the markets that you can actually add your own local bank account. And in order to do so, what we do is basically open for you a local bank account, a local virtual bank account, using our banking partnerships infrastructure that we have with many banks and global banks like Bank of America, Barclays, and Standard. And we work with many banks in order to make this service simple and smoothest for the users. So we give you a simple virtual bank account, you add this virtual bank account, and that's it. You get the funds there as local, I should say global as local.
So I have to say that somewhere in 2010, I started selling on Amazon, and I had a very good luck because my partner, he used to live in the UK, and he had a bank account in the UK, and we used it to connect it to Amazon. But for other partners or friends that was doing e-commerce or wanted to sell on Amazon, at least in those days, there were very few solutions that was actually quite complicated those days. I think it was currencies direct if you wanted to sell in Europe, and it was very complicated for us to have a local bank account. So I think that one of the good solutions that Payoneer brought to this world of e-commerce was that you were able to open a seller account on Amazon and just sell your stuff and receive funds to your Payoneer account, and then withdraw it to your local bank account, or do anything that is related to that. So I'm guessing that this was the thing that Payoneer enabled most, and I think this is and correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm guessing that this is the place where Payoneer most succeeded in the world of e-commerce, at least with traders that didn't have it.
And I have to add to this that, as you mentioned, the Payoneer actually in the e-commerce market for so long that we actually were able to develop our product around the ecosystem of e-commerce sellers. We will discuss about this, I believe, later, but we actually developed our product to optimize it for e-commerce sellers. And give you an example, Payoneer today offering 7 different currencies, global currencies, that me as a seller, if I want, I can today have an Australian dollar bank account to add to Amazon Australia or different marketplaces in Australia, and I can start actually work in this field. Okay, so it's not that obvious that Payoneer actually optimized the product in a way that we actually specialized in the e-commerce world for e-commerce sellers.
And another thing that I noticed is the seamless connection to Amazon, because not only do you provide all the details of the bank account and stuff like that, but also the documentation that the Amazon
right, the
requires. Exactly. Which
yeah.
I think back in the day was kind of a big challenge for many people, trying to talk with the bank, trying to negotiate it and explain why they need it and so on and so forth.
Right.
So Payoneer developed the store manager. Basically, it's the ability for you to get one to connect your Payoneer account to your Amazon Web Services if you want, and then get a lot of details and input from your Amazon store in your Payoneer account. So you can take and check the data that you have on Payoneer instead of logging into Amazon, as well as issuing the statement, as you said. And the new thing we're doing right now is also, and we can discuss a bit about it later, is the offering of the capital, which is now, as e-commerce is growing and scaling up, businesses want to grow 30, 40, 50% more, while the banks are not always supportive, right? Because it's a product that you cannot hold on a paper. So what do you show the bank? So Payoneer is now offering also a capital offer for those e-commerce businesses through that store manager, and offer them to receive their Amazon earnings earlier than what they actually need to receive.
Wow, that's actually, I didn't know about that, and that's a big thing, because I think many people have second thoughts regarding selling on Amazon, because if they're just starting out and they don't have the ability to purchase things and receive payments like every 2 weeks or whatever, it's a big challenge. I think that
I'm gonna add to that is that when people I think that the world of dropshipping was only directed to eBay at the first place, because you were receiving your funds through PayPal instantly, and that enables you to continue your business once you are doing dropshipping. But for Amazon, for example, waiting 2 weeks just to receive funds is something that is crazy. And now that the world of dropshipping and e-commerce is growing rapidly in other channels such as Amazon, so people now can think about ways they can do dropshipping also with real inventory, not just retail arbitrage, what is today mostly popular, but also working with suppliers selling their stuff on Amazon, receiving funds, let's say, faster than usual, which is 2 weeks, and I think this could enable a new channel for people to work on, and Amazon is huge. Amazon is like today 50% out of the online market in the United States only, and it's growing in other countries as well. And I believe that this could be also something that people can use and benefit from it to their business.
Actually, this point is actually very interesting to me, the capital thing. So, for example, PayPal sometimes have rolling reserve for people. Do you also offer a solution for that, or it's not yet?
So as we're just starting, and in a few months we're starting from Amazon, but obviously as the business will grow, I think we would also aim to think about PayPal, but it's also maybe even the seller's place, or maybe your place as our partners as well, is to raise it up. The more we hear it from the user, the more we hear the needs, that's when we actually develop this solution more. And I know from my side, at least, that sometimes PayPal is holding about 30 to 40%, depends on your volume. So definitely I have already raised it up, but the more we hear it, the faster we will develop it for other e-commerce sites.
Wow, that could be really cool. I had, More said earlier regarding a virtual bank account. So maybe you could elaborate more regarding how the platform sees that. The platform, when I say platform, I mean like Amazon or PayPal. Do they see it as a virtual bank account, or how do they treat it?
So they treat it as every bank account, basically. You get an IBAN, right? The checking account, the routing number, and this is the details you get to add in your seller account, your banking account. banking details in your seller.
Okay, and then they treat it just as a usual bank account. You withdraw money to there and all the associated
you
fees.
Receive the money to your Payoneer account, and then you decide what you want to do with this. With the funds.
Actually, this is quite easy, and I can say that I'm working with my Payoneer account to receive funds from Amazon. So it's very easy to connect your Payoneer account to your Amazon. It's a little bit technical, I can say, but you have to be you have to understand exactly the flow. But actually, it's quite easy. And once you do that, that's it. Like every 2 weeks, you will receive your funds, and they treat it like a U.S. bank account, and they see it exactly as a U.S. bank account.
By the way, in Amazon specifically, in similar platforms, the solution is that you add your bank details that you get from Payoneer. We have other partners, other platforms. We have around like 1,500 marketplaces that we partnered with globally. Other markets, it's a different type of partnership. We also even have an integration with those platforms. So all you need to do is just to add your Payoneer credentials, and that's it. And you get your funds directly to your Payoneer account by an integration that we have with those marketplaces.
Oh, so you're acting also as the payment gateway for that? Or like...
No, not the payment gateway. Basically, the marketplace, you choose to receive payments from Payoneer. If I work, for example, in
we
I have a good example. I think Airbnb is like the most representable example. So let's say that I have an apartment and I want to rent it, and now I want to receive funds. Now, if there were regular transaction funds, then I had to receive probably payments through credit cards or whatever. So using Payoneer, I can add my Payoneer account and I can receive funds through it, directly through it. And I think this is a very big solution also for other things that is similar to that, like marketplaces that offers all kinds of services or
freelancers,
yeah, exactly. And we all know freelancers' websites and exactly how it works. And I think this is very great to have it as a solution.
So let's talk a little bit about the fees involved with that, because we are talking about several transactions. For example, if I'm an eBay seller and I dropship from another site, let's say Home Depot or Amazon or so on. So what I need to do essentially is to transfer money from my PayPal account to my, let's say, a Payoneer account, right? And then from there, I either buy, and maybe you can talk about it a little bit more with the debit card that you have, buy a gift card or the product, or then maybe I transfer this money to my personal bank account. So could you please speak about the fees that are involved in all this operation?
So the fees really, it's as you said, really depends on the action that you take in the process. So let's say, for example, if we work, if I'm working with my USD account, okay, and I want to fund this, and I want to receive payments to this account, usually it will be 1% fee to this funding account, the USD. If you sign up, I'm talking about like generic. If you sign up in the website, for example,
as a regular customer.
As a regular customer, and as well, you have the fee that once you withdraw these funds to your local bank account, usually it's up to 2% above the mid-market rate, the exchange rate of the same day that you withdraw the funds. In addition, there is the prepaid card, the opt-in card, that if you choose to use it, you have the annual fee that we take for this card, and any action that you have with this card, of course, like we obligate as well to all partners, so we have to take those commission to make it to maintain and active this payment methods. But if you touch the fees, I have to say here to the TripMRS viewers that we have really a unique partnership with TripMRS, and we built a special fee structure for this partnership. So if I mentioned the funding fee of 1%, up to 1% funding to USD account, So we actually waived this fee, so it's no charge, free of
Zero.
charge, zero. And the withdrawal to bank fee will be down to 1.8% instead of 2%. So in addition to the bonus that you guys get once you sign up with the agreement we have with Triple Mouse, so you should use the link in order to get really this benefit that we worked very hard to get it for this community.
I can add a bit about what Mor said about the card usage, right? So if you're a dropshipper, you most likely will want to use your card to buy your supplies. So let's say in the example you said, if they receive funds into their Payoneer account through the USD collection account, they lend into the Payoneer, what can they do? So the first thing they can do is they use the card, and the card is USD currency, right? So if they purchase in USD, they should have lower, they don't have conversion. If they use the bank card, they most likely will have conversion. As well as any promotion done on Facebook and Google is really no commission at all, as the card are issued in the Eurozone and they are also charging for the Eurozone. So anyone who wants to do promotions for the website, that's the best tool to do it. If the supplier is not accepting credit cards, what they can do is have their supplier open a Payoneer account and pay them from one account to another account for free and instantly. So if you're a dropshipper and you want, and suddenly you had a lot of sales, right, and you need to transfer a lot of funds to your supplier, it will take you 3 days for him to get it, then only 2 days for him to process it, then another 7 days for him to send it, right? So it's a long process. With Payoneer, they can instantly send the funds, and within 2 hours, the supplier gets the payments and already starts the process of sending the products, which is really fast.
And no fees involved.
For internal payment, there's no fee.
So I have to say that one of the coolest things that happened for me lately, so I started to use my Payoneer accounts to sell gift cards, and I started to receive funds from people that actually sell on Amazon, and they also do a drop shipping to eBay. So they use the funds that they profit on Amazon, and they convert it into gift cards for another activity, which is eBay. And another thing that I discovered, that a lot of people is doing something that is actually sounds quite insane. I never tried it before. I've heard about it a lot, but I never tried it, which is dropshipping inside Amazon. That means that you dropship from Amazon to Amazon. So just in the technical way, let's say that I'm receiving, that I have an ASIN, that let's say that the price is about $20, and I see that I can find another ASIN similar to that for, let's say, $9.99. Now I can leverage the arbitrage. I can just sell the same item on the $20, trying to win the buy box, and once the item is sold, I'm buying it from Amazon platform. So that means that I'm drop shipping from Amazon to Amazon, which is quite crazy if you think about it. But you won't believe the amounts of people and what they do using this kind of method. And there are a lot of videos that I saw on YouTube because I was so curious about it. But anyway, I'm guessing that this is also some practical. But just to make a closure, I'm gonna say that I'm receiving funds from my customers using Payoneer. It's actually more faster than 2 hours. It's about 10 to 15 minutes until I see the funds available in my Payoneer account, and I issue them currently manually gift cards, but in the next future, which is supposed to be very close, I'm gonna do that automatically. So this will be one of the coolest features that we will develop in Triple Mouse.
I think another point that you touched a bit regarding conversion fees, that if we compare the PayPal conversion fee each time you take it from the PayPal account to your bank account, it's crazy. It's like 3.5, even more % over the market rate. And I think you guys, because of the technology and the abilities you developed, you offer a much lower fee, which is a big advantage. Either when you're just withdrawing money as your profit, or if you need that money to be in your bank account to purchase maybe a stock locally, for example. So I think that's a big advantage here. You wanted to say something?
Yeah, but I think let's try to talk a little bit about the barriers that people have once they have a Payoneer account. Sometimes I'm getting a lot of questions from people saying I cannot withdraw my funds, or people that are saying I cannot request for a credit card because I need to have at least a minimum amount in my Payoneer account in order to have a. So let's try to open these issues, and maybe we can solve them for them.
Sure. So the minimum, the $30 card is something that we have at the moment. So up until now, it means that you need to get any payments from an external source, meaning not a Payoneer transaction, in order to have this solution open. We are also working now to make sure that all PayPal payments are considered to be those type of volume. But if there is any concern about this issue and you know that you need to have this card, you can contact the Triple Mars, and they will let us know that this minimum $30 is waived, and we can do it in a few minutes. It's not a problem.
Wow. So let me just get it straight. So what you're saying that let's say Triple Mars customer can receive the benefit of waiving this $30 minimum if they approach us, and we will approach I'm guessing the business department. This is very cool. I didn't know that actually. So
This is a surprise for you.
Yeah.
We are surprised. It's a big deal, because I think that was one barrier that people had to open a Payoneer account and order a debit card. I think that's a big deal for them. Right? Yeah.
What about withdrawals? Is there any minimum that I need to have in my account in order to withdraw funds to my bank account?
I think every country has a different minimum, but it's really, as you said, a minimum. So it's somewhere between $50 to $200 minimum, usually not more than that. Most countries, but if there is any specific unique case, we can always review it if they contact support. But that every user should be able to withdraw their funds to their bank, because this is what we do. We help them to get the payments to the bank.
So what is the requirements to have a Payoneer account? Let's say that I'm a new user. How can I open a Payoneer account? What is the requirements in this platform, and so on?
The requirements are pretty basic. So when you register as a company or an individual through the system. You need to have your own bank, local bank. So you need to, on your first registration, you put your bank details in. And we might ask for a few documents, basic like your documentation, like ID, your company documents. But basically, we would ask you to explain a bit about what you do as the time goes. But this is the requirements we have.
Yeah, I'm guessing this is quite an easy user experience because
Very easy.
Yeah, because I think that every B2B platform or even B2C platform needs to first onboard the user and then ask them for more details. Let's say if it's a business, then I need to have more information regarding the business, because I think this is the regulation and this is what is going on around the world. And I'm guessing that everyone that wants to be on the safe and green light, let's say, they need to have everything prepared and to have this process, and they should not be afraid of it once they do it, because sometimes I meet people that always tells me listen, they ask me for documentation. I don't know if I should send it through the internet, or I don't know if this document is fit. So in case you have issues like that, you can always contact support, I'm guessing, and they can always help you with all your questions. And if you have any other question regarding that, you can always approach me, even personally, and I can help or introduce or try to use my contacts.
And I think either way, if you conduct business, you should have the documentation already ready, because we want to do everything the right way and everything very well documented and easily accessible. Because let's say if you're open, you register as a business in your country, you already have some documentation. If you open an account at several other, maybe a payment processor or any other service, you probably already have provided them some documentation. So I don't think there will be any challenge with providing the quite basic, it's not very complicated documentation that Payoneer require. I think their due diligence is not as crazy as, I don't know, opening a bank account, a real bank account, or anything like that. So I don't think that should be something that really is a problem for anyone who's interested. So I'm just curious, you work with many countries. Maybe you can talk a bit about the challenges. Maybe some countries are more challenging than others to work with. Can you give us maybe some examples?
So right now, Payoneer operates in more than 150 countries.
Wow.
No, more than 200. Was it more than 200 countries in the world?
How many countries
it's more
are
than
there?
150 currencies, actually.
Wow.
You can always go to your local bank account. And in terms of regulations, you're right. I mean, it is something, it's very complicated. It takes a lot of time to give you the license to offer this option for our clients to have a virtual bank account. It's not an easy process. Sometimes it takes years to get this license in order to be compliant with the local regulations. And it's challenging. It's definitely a challenge. We work with hundreds and even thousands of banks all over the world to make this process and this flow for our users faster and simple as it can.
Mm-hmm. For example, I think I heard that in the Philippines, when people try to withdraw money from PayPal, they have to pay a crazy fee, like maybe $40 or $50, something.
$35.
Yeah, something crazy.
Which
like
is
that.
crazy because in comparison to, like, let's say that today hiring someone from the Philippines doing online job for you as a virtual assistant, what we call the VA in the world of dropshipping. So this sometimes they get a salary up to, let's say, $3.5 an hour. Now think about them that when they try to withdraw funds from PayPal and they need to pay $35 just for the withdrawal without the conversion and everything. Now it's like about 10 hours of work for them or more, which is crazy. Yeah.
By the way, sorry, go ahead.
No, so I was about to say, so if you send a payment from your Payoneer account, let's say you received some funds and you want to pay your virtual assistants, you would pay them this transfer will be completely free, and then they will only pay the conversion. So we don't take any flat fee or anything of that sort.
So I think that the guys from the Philippines should have a Payoneer account for sure.
That's exactly what I'm thinking about now. That the VAs that I have, guys, let's open. You don't have this fee that you have to pay for the debit card. I think, yeah, from now we're starting to work.
As well as we have an office in the Philippines, very active with a lot of activities. So once they join the community, they will be part of this marketing activity, and they can be part of a community, a real community in Philippines.
Cool. So before we continue, guys, everyone who's here, I want you to do two things. First of all, like that if you like the content, and also you can write down some questions in the comments here, and then after we're done with some other questions we have, we will oh, nice, I see a like. It worked. Maybe I should ask it another time soon, but we'll see. But you can write your questions down, and we'll definitely address them. I think it's a great opportunity if you have anything that you want to ask, anything that you wonder about regarding using Payoneer. So go ahead. Mar, do you have anything else you want to ask? Because I do have a couple of other questions.
Go ahead.
Okay, so we talked about the e-commerce businesses that are probably the main clients of your service, right? What other businesses? We talked maybe a bit about freelancers, but what are the kinds of businesses that you service?
So, as you said, the leading businesses that we manage today is really e-commerce freelancers. But not only, we have also
Service providers,
different service providers, including also the POD vertical is very strong.
Which is print on demand?
Print on demand. Who else? We have photographers. I mean, really, any business that actually can receive global payments and offering a different service globally can actually use us. Not everyone. We still have the regulations that we need to comply with. But as you said, Airbnb is one of our top clients.
I think it really depends on which country you look at, right? So there are countries that are really e-commerce based. So if we talk about Israel, China, US, UK, Korea, Japan, these are markets that are really e-commerce based. So most of clients will be e-commerce. If we talk about the Philippines, Pakistan, Bangladesh, India, then it's mostly freelance world, right? India is a mix of e-commerce and freelance. If we talk about Ukraine and Russia, then we have the IT service providers, developers, a lot of this world, and e-commerce. Actually, e-commerce in the Ukraine is what happened maybe 2-3 years ago here in Israel for the e-commerce. Now it's booming in the Ukraine, and they're really
I see that. I see that.
But I think what's nice with us is one that we always interested to learn new verticals, and we even serve clients in a proper B2B world. So I have a client that is working in the EdTech world, and he's getting payments from US, Europe, and UK, and he's getting the payments to Payoneer, and from there he's also paying using the card and withdrawing to his bank. So in a lot of different ways.
And we work also here, I mean, Israel is just an example. We have many startups here in Israel, but many startups actually using us to pay really their service providers all over the world.
From Israel.
Nice. So what else? Well, we talked a bit about this before, but there are several payment solutions in the world, several competitors that either offer a virtual bank account or a debit card or both. So maybe you can talk about your specific advantages in Payoneer.
Sure. So I think if you, before you go and choose your bank or your payment financials, it's important to think what is important to you. It's important for you that your funds will be transferred safely, and you know that you can trust the company you work with. You know they're working in the field for a long time and they know what they're doing. This is very crucial. So necessarily, I think as a business, and if you know your business that you want to keep your business going well and growing, then it's important to choose a company like that. And I think Payoneer is a great example of a company that has been in this field for 12 years, experting in the e-commerce field. And you know for sure that even if you choose Payoneer, even if the fee can be a bit higher than others, you choose a company that you can trust in. So that's the first reason. The second reason is, I think, the fact that one is the technique and the technology that you can send funds fast to a lot of people, use your card as a dropshipper, right, and as an e-commerce seller. And I think the second two things is something that only Payoneer offers is one, being part of a community. So since we have so many offices or brand ambassadors around the world, we actually have meetings, meetups. We organize a lot of forums. So you are part of a community. Yes, you are a seller who works from his room and probably on his computer solo, but you're part of something. And that's what Payoneer offers. So you come to these meetings and you learn about what other things you can do. And the last thing is, since we work with so many companies, especially in the e-commerce, so clients that are in contact with us can always be introduced to other marketplaces. So let's say we work now with Walmart. So clients of mine I can introduce to Walmart, and you can imagine what is the difference if you're being introduced by Payoneer rather if you go by your own and try to open an account there.
As a seller, you mean,
As a
in
seller.
Walmart.
So I think if we talk about the main points, this is 4 main points I would think of as a seller when we want to choose e-commerce business. We have some guests here, so.
He's here in the building.
Yeah. Well, I think we'll wrap up soon, so it's okay. But another thing maybe that I was thinking about is kind of what's called the network effect, which is the more people that are using your service, the easier it is, the value grows. So for example, if I use Payoneer and my service provider uses Payoneer or supplier, then I can, as you said before, I can transfer funds to them for free, which is a big advantage. Like any other service that is similar to that, maybe the PayPal or whatever, even if you're sending a mass payment, which is kind of the cheapest way to send payments, you still have to pay a substantial amount of money when you transfer payments. And here, it's both instant and also free, which is, I think, a very big advantage.
I love the business logic in this kind of model, because when sending funds inside the Payoneer network, it's supposed to be something that, in my opinion, should be free, always free. Why? Because when you charge money that comes in and you charge money that comes out, then it's only logical to have money inside the network for free. But let's say what is going on in companies that grow differently in their business thinking, what they are trying to do is to double charge you, either for the money in, either for the transferring money inside the network and then when you're taking it out, which makes no, of course I can understand their business logic, but of course this is what makes other people that work inside this network for many difficulties. And I'm guessing that the only right and proper way to do that is to enable people to leave money inside Payoneer and just have it always circulating.
For a business.
Yeah.
I mean, I call it all the time. I love to call it like the Payoneer ecosystem.
Exactly.
It is an ecosystem because we, during those years that our experience that we have in e-commerce, we actually integrated and collaborated with many services around the e-commerce. So if I'm a seller today with Payoneer, I can actually pay for all the things I need for my business from Payoneer. Even if I'm selling, for example, in Europe, and when I want to pay VAT in Europe, today I can actually do it with Payoneer. Okay, and this is really a unique service that we bring in Payoneer in order to make it really more simple for you to manage and grow globally. Mm-hmm. This is a unique solution that I would say solution. It is a solution, but it's a unique thing only for Payoneer, which you won't be able to find in other places.
Guys, I see that we're kind of overboard. Anything like last that we want to add or ask, or maybe anything that you guys have, anything other insight or tip or whatever?
I'm just gonna say that once we decided to go on this interview with Payoneer, I've received a lot of messages from people asking if I can negotiate for them all kinds of terms. So we already have it, and I'm gonna share my affiliate link. That means that you guys can register to your Payoneer account, and you will be able to receive all kinds of benefits. And in case you already have a Payoneer account, then contact me in person. I'm gonna find solutions for you as well in order for you to receive your benefits. So I'm guessing this is it. And guys, if you have last questions or something like that.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you for
Hope you enjoyed your visit.
Thanks, More. Thanks, Valeria. It was really nice.
Thank you.
Thanks, More. Okay, guys, we'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.